Hey, how you doing today? It's Chef Tom from the Cardinal Cafe over here at Manual. Today, we are going to make a delicious shrimp scampi. You know, if you got a little special occasion, something like that, this is the perfect little meal. It's simple, it's quick, and today it's going to exhibit quite a bit of knife work. And we're not going to make your traditional shrimp scampi, because I like to make mine a shrimp scampi alfredo. And I know that we've been showing a couple of different ways of doing alfredo. Today we're just going to reinforce that one more time. So without further ado, after we wash our hands, what's the first thing we do when we come to our cutting board? That's right, we sharpen our knives every single time, okay? And again, just the same number of times on either side. We're going to do our paring knife as well. And here's the thing, this is our serrated knife that we use on various things, but this is not a knife we'll sharpen, okay? This one's always going to just be right here, but that one we actually have to send out to be sharpened. So, without further ado, let's get some knife work going. We're going to start out with these beautiful shrimp. These are 2125s, and 2125 actually refers to the size of the shrimp per pound. So there's 21 to 25 of these shrimp per pound. Okay, these have already been deveined, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to butterfly these just for a little nicer appeal on the plate. And all we do is take it and cut it just like that across the ridge. And if you've got a good sharp knife, it's very easy. And we only have to do about a half a dozen of them. Okay, you see that? Real nice, real easy. We're going to just leave these shrimp right back into this bowl as soon as they're done being cut. So now the question comes, why don't I have gloves on? Well, the reason for that is that this is a pre-cooked product. We're going to cook this, and so we are going to sanitize this food essentially with heat, so we don't need to be wearing our gloves for this part. I am, however, going to very quickly rinse my hands just because I don't want my shrimp to be on my vegetables as I'm cutting. One thing we have to be very careful with shrimp is that it is one of the big 8 allergens. So you have to be very careful when you're serving seafood and shrimp to people, because a lot of people have an allergy to seafood and shellfish like shrimp, and they could go into anaphylactic shock if you unwittingly feed them seafood, okay? So that's really important. All right, we're going to start with our garlic now, and you'll notice that I'm not cutting on the same board that I cut my shrimp. I'm cutting on a second board. And this garlic, really easy to cut up. We just need to get our knife going, okay? And the thing is, you don't have to absolutely mince garlic. You can leave it in a fairly substantial chunk. I like my garlic cut to about there, so that when I have it in the pan, I don't lose it. It doesn't cook away, so to speak, okay? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna pick up our garlic and put it back in our bowl. And I know a lot of people use garlic out of the jar. Do yourself a favor, always use fresh. Fresh garlic, the flavor profile of anything you cook with it is so much better. Now, the next very cool item we're going to talk about is a shallot. So some chefs will tell you that a shallot is a cross between an onion and garlic. Incorrect. A shallot is actually a part of the allium family, which is the onion family, but it has not as strong a flavor as onion. It doesn't have that same heat that an onion has. And so it's just a little milder, a little smoother flavor. And just like the garlic, we're just gonna take and give this a nice little chop. And realistically, that's all we want to chop this, because we're going to use some of this garlic and onion on top of our pasta when we're done as part of the garnish. You know, because I know that we talk about it a lot, but garnish is super, super important. We're going to move to our parsley. I'm just going to give that a little chop, no big deal. You know, you're going to be careful that you're always using the claw method so that that knife is nowhere near your fingers or your thumb, because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to scrape that finger, okay? If you've got your thumb hanging out here, that's what's going to happen to it. You're going to wind up taking the end of that thumb off, and that's not good, okay? So, we have our shallots, our garlic, our onion, our shallots, our garlic, our parsley, our shrimp all ready to go. The last thing we have to do is cut a few of these tomatoes. And this, again, is where we're going to use our serrated knife, because a serrated knife goes through a tomato so nicely. It's just so easy, and it slices the tomato. Okay? Take that tomato, put it right back in our bowl, and then we're going to cut off just a slab slice of our lemon. Okay? Very often when you're cutting lemon, you'll see a chef or a culinarian cut the lemon in half. Well, the reason that I only take off a slice is because if you look at this, you see no seeds in there, because your seeds are more toward the middle. So this will be very nice when we're actually squeezing it in the pan. We don't have to worry about squeezing it up into our hand. We can squeeze it just like this and get all that delicious juice in there. And then we've got a little surprise for the rest of this lemon. At this point, I'm going to take 1 minute and give a little wipe down and get my burners set up and my plates so that we can go ahead and execute this menu. All right, now that we've taken a second to sanitize and get this area ready for heavy production, here we go. You see we've got nice blue flame on our burners. So we're going to grab our saute pans. We're going to get them on the fire. And as we always talk about, we love butter, okay? The first 3 ingredients in French cooking are butter, butter, and butter. Every day, every time, okay? We're going to start out with this butter in our saute pan. We're going to hit it on both sides at the same time. We're just going to let that butter melt for a second. And while we're letting the butter melt, we're going to measure out some pasta here. Okay? We want a nice portion. We're right about there. We're at about 4 ounces of noodles. Okay? We're going to put that guy right there. You know what? My conscience won't let me do just 4. I'll have to do 5. All right, our butter's starting to melt, looking good. All right, this baby is where we're going to be cooking our shrimp. We're going live with our garlic, our shallots, and half of our parsley. We'll give this onion and shallot a second to start working before we hit it with our parsley, okay? That's looking good. See how nice that's cooking? That's what we want. We just want it to sizzle in the pan a little, because we're just going to give it a light caramelization. And wow, I wish you could smell this at home. The smell that's coming off here is so awesome. Okay, now we have got our onions and shallots working right where we want them. We're going to throw in a pinch of parsley here. There we go. Hear that starting to pop? That's exactly what we want. This is looking good here. We're going to bring our heavy cream over and pour that right in here. Okay? And we're going to let that reduce. Okay? That is exactly what we want. We want it bubbling. It's looking delicious. These guys are talking to us. You can hear them sizzling. So, now that we're starting to get a little tiny bit of browning on them, we're going to go ahead and we're going to throw our shrimp in. We're just going to stir these guys around a little, okay? Yeah, listen to that. Now, shrimp cooks very, very quickly, okay? So you do not have to let them cook too much. You can just grab your tongs, turn them over once. You can see that they're starting to get cooked on one side. There we go. And now you can see that our garlic and parsley and shallot is really turning nice and brown. So this is when we're going to take our white wine, okay? There we go. And the thing is, this white wine, oh man, if you could smell this right now, it's so awesome. But this white wine is going to deglaze that pan and make us a little tiny bit of sauce. Now, this cream is reduced, so it's time to get our pasta in here. Now we're going to stir this pasta up. By the way, this is an angel hair pasta. It cooks very, very quickly. Some call it a vermicelli, either or. But now is when we're making our little alfredo sauce there. We're going to turn these shrimp a little. Look at that. That is awesome. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now we're almost there. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to throw in some little grape tomato. And what that's going to do is add a sweetness and just a little more garnish to our scampi. We're going to go ahead and we're going to kill this heat. And last but not least, we're going to take some of that lemon that we talked about. Give a nice squeeze of fresh lemon in it, okay? Look at that. You can't even believe how nice that fresh lemon smells, our shallots, our garlic. And now, if you look over at this pasta, you're going to see that we've got the lightest little cream sauce on there. And so we're going to take and we're going to hit it with some of our parm, okay? We're just going to toss that around a little with that Parmesan. I mean, really, look at how beautiful that is. Such an immediate little Alfredo sauce. Our shrimp is ready. We'll give a little pinch of salt and pepper in there just to make sure that everything tastes amazing. All right, now we have got this delicious pasta ready to go. We're ready to plate. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take our tongs and we're going to dig out a nice amount of pasta. We're going to move it over to the plate and we're going to do what they call a haystack in the middle of the plate. All right? Yeah, look at that. That's what we're looking for right there. Now, we're going to take our shrimp and we're going to just set those around this pasta. Then we're going to take these tomatoes and one by one we're going to put those on here so that they look amazing. You always want to concentrate on keeping your plate clean, okay? And now, if you look in this pan, we have this delicious white wine, butter, lemony, garlic, and shallot mixture with a little parsley. So we're going to take that and we're going to go right on top of that delicious Alfredo with it. Okay? And now, here's the thing. We can't be done yet because every beautiful plate deserves some beautiful garnish. So we're going to take some parm, we're going to take some parsley, and last but not least, we're going to grab our microplane and the rest of that lemon, and we're just going to hit it with a little bit of lemon zest, okay? It doesn't have to be a lot, you just want to freshen it up. And that right there, my friends, is probably one of the most delicious shrimp scampi alfredos that you're ever going to see in your life. And it was so easy. You know, I hope you do this at home, and I hope you come back to see me. Remember, if there's something you want to see on this show that we're not doing, you can always email me at tbelisle@kcpublicschools.com. Hey, I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you have a great day.